What's up? Pick Central, April 10th. Masters Week? Masters officially underway? Yep.
Yes. Started this morning.
Yeah. Masters officially underway, April 10th. Easter on the horizon. Interesting time, I guess, for sport. I don't want to say it's still like kicking, but I think after the Masters,
I don't know. Then you got NBA playoffs.
Yeah, beginning of the playoff. Like, yeah, then it's running. It's running. I feel like baseball has opening day, and I feel like then people don't check in till like May or June.
I actually think the Masters.
The baseball diehards, we're still watching your team.
Yeah,
but it's like, I don't think you're living and dying yet.
No, I think NBA playoffs kind of takes front and center.
Yeah, I think the Masters does a good job kind of bridging the gap between like March Madness into the NBA playoffs.
Yeah.
I think it usually falls like a good time, like right in between, because right now it's like just baseball. You kind of got the last few basketball games, which especially the NBA regular season, the last few games with the Western Conference race, there's going to be some good ones, but they usually like suck because there's a lot of guys sitting out. Like Knicks are sitting guys out tonight. Like
Celtics had everyone out yesterday.
Yeah, like it kind of, you start like guys that are teams that have clinched seeds, they start sitting a lot of guys out. A lot of G League guys come up.
The Eastern,
and then like the West, like we're gonna have some big time games like we talked about.
Even in the East, like the play-in seeding matters. Like you'd much rather be the 8 than the 9.
Yeah, for sure.
So like I have a 30-1 future on the Bulls, so I've been like watching them like a hawk. And
how many wins they have?
They don't have many wins, but they could get the 8 seed.
You have a third. What is it?
30-1
to make the playoffs.
To make the playoffs.
That's playoffs.
So they got to win the play-in. But if they have the 9 seed, they only got to win one game and they're in the playoffs. Now if they get the 8 seed. If they get the 9 seed, then they got to win 2 games.
Yeah.
It's like fuck.
Yeah.
So like I've been watching them.
I guess the 9th they get home and then on the road.
You'll have hedge opportunities though.
Yeah, or I might take the buyout.
Actually, it's a good call on the hedge opportunity.
We'll see. I'm definitely watching that. But then, like Ed, this Western Conference is so exciting. So the Lakers clinched. They don't need to play the play-in. They clinched that yesterday with that win against Dallas. But then the rest of the field is wide open. The Warriors, by the way, all the Warriors they lost a horrible game to Spurs.
That was a bad loss. Really bad loss.
So, yeah,
Spurs.
We have a couple different NBA things. 2 NBA things. 3 NBA things, actually. But, yeah, I have the West standings here now. So it's Oklahoma City against Minnesota if the seeds hold. Denver versus the Clippers. Lakers, Memphis, and now Houston, Golden State slid all the way to the 7 spot.
Yeah, because they lost. Because everyone won, they lost.
Well, now they're playing, so no one's guaranteed. They only 2 games left for the Warriors.
Sure.
And that last game is against the Clippers, which that might be playing that might decide who's in the 6th seed.
But again, it's crazy. Like I kind of said yesterday, the way the seeds shake out, like the way things might fall. Like I know, obviously, you'd rather not be in the play-in. But I think there's a world where, like, if the Rockets are the 2 instead of, like, the Lakers or somebody else, it might be better to be the 7 than to be, like, the 5. Because if you have to, like, go to Denver or go to L.A., I think you'd rather go to Houston. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Houston. I just think
Houston's pretty good.
No, they're very good. They're the reason they're the 2 seed. But I also think you're just getting, like, a younger
you are.
team that has – this core has never played together in the playoffs.
Right.
Whereas, like, you're getting a you could have to go to like LeBron, Luka in LA. You could have to go to like at Jokic in Denver, like altitude as well.
If the Lakers can win their next 2 games, they're guaranteed the 3 spot.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, so if they fall in the 6, you might almost rather be the 7 than 6. Although I understand I understand the gamble because you could lose 2 home games in a row and just not be in at all.
Right.
But
or you could even drop to the 8. The 7 and 8 are really close. You could end up being the 8 very easily.
If you lose that home game and then you're the 8, like you're in a bad spot. You got to go to Oklahoma City.
Like if the Timberwolves play tonight, I think if the Timberwolves win,
they do. They play at Grizzlies tonight.
And if they win,
so one of those teams is going to lose, like right there.
Right. But if
the Timberwolves need it really badly.
But if the Timberwolves win, say they need it more. Right. Then I think Golden State drops to 8.
With the half game,
yeah, because then they'll have the same record, both before 7. And Golden State's conference record is not great, and their division record's not good. It's horrible, actually.
What is Golden State's path? Like, if you got to pick, obviously you would pick to be the 1 seed. That's not going to happen. I'm saying in the realm that they're in, or in the
best they could do is probably 4.
Yeah. I would say them being the 4 or 5 versus like the Grizzlies probably would be like the ideal. Like they get home court and they don't have to play the Lakers or
the chance of them, honestly.
I mean, maybe the Clippers too, but I think the Clippers have been playing really well.
Clippers playing really
well. They're all good. Yeah. Like I don't think
they're not going to be above 6. I don't think the Warriors. Like realistically, like
so at that point,
if they won out, they probably could.
I don't know.
Who would you rather have?
I don't know because they're a game back of that already.
Would you rather have Houston or would you rather have the Lakers?
Who would I rather play?
Yeah,
I'd rather play Houston.
Sure.
For sure.
You're probably going to have to play both, so I guess it's a moot point. But who would you rather play in the first round?
I'd rather play Houston because the Lakers also are a different team than the record because they went and got Luka.
Yes, exactly.
So like I'd much rather play Houston, but like that's not an easy task. But then the other thing too is if you get now you're not just playing Houston. Now you're playing like say Minnesota, who's pretty good, and if you lose to them, then you might have to play Dallas, who now has AD back.
Yeah, in the play-in.
It's not like it's not easy.
No, but none of it's easy because obviously you'd rather not be in the play-in game. But I think there's something he said like going to like it's tough because like you said there's no easy out like the clip like they're all good teams. They all have almost 50 wins.
So when you say Houston, it's actually you're really playing Minnesota, maybe Dallas, and Houston. It's not just Houston.
Well, no, I get that, but I'm saying if they just win, they'd have home court at least, so they'd have like one home game.
Maybe
where if they won it.
Maybe not.
Well, we're saying hypothetically, Clemmer.
Oh yeah, I know. But I'm saying
with a 7,
right? So then they
get a home game.
But it's so close. They could sneak into the 6. Like it's so up in the air. It's crazy.
That was a game you just can't lose. You're up 12 going to the fourth quarter
against the Spurs.
Barnes in that buzzer beater
last night. Yeah, right.
It was shocking. Like I was watching. Barnes hits that.
Harrison Barnes killed him.
You could see just like steps, but you just like I can't like how did this? He's like, how the fuck did this happen? Like,
Steve Kerr was kind of panicking the last press conference. He said, like, oh, if we win out, we know we're not. Like, this is the one before that game.
Yeah.
I saw him kind of like, I was like, Steve Kerr looks a little nervous.
It's tough. Listen, you could Luke, like, obviously Luka's a lot better than Jimmy Butler, but they're a different team since they got Butler. Like, that was a bad loss last night. There's no, like, excusing that. But they have been on an insane run since they got him.
They have been. But unfortunately, the West is really good. Now you're in trouble. Now you're in trouble. Imagine if you went and got Jimmy Butler and you don't get out the first round.
I mean, you got a few more years of it.
I guess these guys are getting younger, man. But last year they got knocked out in the play-in game. This year the same thing could happen again. I don't think it will, but it could. That's wheels come off the bus a little bit, boys.
I mean, it's right. One game. The West is just tough. Like it's a literally 8 killers.
Yep.
Like the teams like you're playing. Like it's not like they're playing in the playing game to lose to like the Bulls.
I don't care who you lose to. Then you got to also know your competition in your division then, or you're in your conference, and you got to take that under effect when you start being a GM. That's important,
sure.
I think.
Sure, and I think the move they made has clearly worked so far.
How many years was Golden State's run? Did it span 7?
I'd say like 6.
They had that one crazy year where everyone got hurt. And
when was the most recent one they just won against the
2022.
2022, right? And then it started in...
Well, I guess the run, there was a little, like, bridge, I would say, in between that and, like...
They had 2 years they missed the playoffs.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there was a gap.
Right, but that still counts when you win a championship.
I mean, if you call that, then it was almost like 10. Or, like, a little less, little less than that. Like,
they had a 5-year stretch where they went to the finals every year, which
that's what I'm saying.
That's fucking crazy, by the way. Right. Then they had 2 years where they didn't make the playoffs at all.
And then they
won one. So almost like that other one.
That run counts, yeah. But I think listen, runs end. Like, they could be on the tail end.
That's what I've been saying in the show since I got here.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean they're not, like, you still have to, when you're on the cusp of, or in the conversation, you do still have to chase it. Like, they can't just
Or do
rebuild.
you? Or you can. Like, Celtics did it.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you keep making like this highway robbery is like this, and it's like every team should do this. Like that's no team's ever done that. It's impossible.
They have. Oklahoma City traded guys, got picks. Oh, Houston traded guys.
Oklahoma City traded who at what times?
Didn't they? They traded. They got the picks because they traded Harden.
Yeah, but that didn't work out at all. They traded Harden in his prime.
How else they get their
picks? They traded Harden that went from six-man to like MVP. That was a bad trade.
Okay.
They got Kevin Martin in return. Bad example.
Okay, so who they traded Westbrook? Was that who they traded? How did they get all those picks?
Well, Durant.
Walk me through it.
Paul George is who they got the picks.
Paul George, who they got.
But that's only a great trade. That I give them the credit because they got Shea. Like that was really why it became a great
right because you want as many chances as possible. You want as many times that bad as possible because you're not always going to get a hit, right? Like a lot of times you'll strike out on guys. But if you give me as many ping pong balls as possible, then I will have more chances.
But again, like it wasn't even really the draft. Like the draft picks were nice, but it was they got the players. Like that was the main like.
Because they got the players.
Really,
not
even players. They got the player. They got very lucky that they got like a guy that ascended from like good like first year or two to like MVP.
Or how about Houston? They traded Harden and they got all these picks, and that's why they're good now. Like this isn't like an anomaly, guys. This is how you win in the NBA. This isn't like a crazy theory. This is how you win. Boston, the same thing. Like 3 of the best teams in the NBA did it this way. This isn't new. You guys can keep ignoring it all you want, but that's how you win.
But even the way you're like, they got like, I wouldn't say they did it that way. Like they've also signed a bunch of guys, like the Thunder also, who again we're talking like they're the 1 seed right now. Like they signed a bunch of these guys. Like they didn't just like trade.
They got Hartenstein, you're right, because they had the extra money. But they
Caruso, like they did a lot. Like they made a lot of moves to do this, and they've just drafted well. Like
drafted really well.
Like Jalen Williams. Like I don't think anyone thought he'd be an all-star within like 2-3 years. I don't think anyone saw that coming out of the draft.
They drafted him. But I'm saying, like I said, Houston. You go through this list of guys, and a lot of these teams did it this way. And that is the easiest right now in the NBA. That's the easiest path.
But even Houston, they signed a lot of a lot of these guys were just free agents.
Some guys were, but the core the reason they're good is because of the guys they got from those picks in the draft.
I don't know about that. Like Jalen Green was their own pick. Like they signed Van Vliet, they signed Dylan Brooks. Like Thompson was their own pick. Jabari was like their own pick. He was like the number 2 pick, and he's not even really turned out that good. Like I think you're over exaggerating how much like that trade impacted like this core now. They kind of just reshuffled. Like they moved on from Harden. Chris Paul got old, and they gave up on that dream.
Yep.
Like I'm saying, like I just think you're overselling. All these picks turned into like.
I don't think I am. When I bring up multiple team examples of this way working. And you guys are just holding on to the fact that Houston.
But I just pointed major flaws in what you were saying.
You didn't know. Okay, how about Houston? How about Boston? Then?
I just talked about Houston. Most of the core of their team had nothing to do with those trades. They were free agent signings and like their own draft picks from being bad, not like the trade they made for Harden. Like the trade they made for Harden didn't turn into like all these players.
Was Sengun their pick?
That's the only one I'm not sure, and that's the only one I would give you. I wasn't 100% sure, so I didn't say that because I didn't know if he directly came from the pick or not.
No, he was Oklahoma City Thunder, and then there was a trade they made to get him. I think having all these picks also gives you ammunition to make other deals and gives you more freedom and gives you a better path than holding with these old guys that you aren't going to win with.
Oh my! But you aren't going to win. Like, congrats for taking like the field. Like,
no, it's not that.
But it's what it is.
Ev, it's not like
you're saying just punt. Like the Warriors punting. I don't care. I don't even care if they lose in the first round. Saying they should have just punted and just trade Steph Curry is crazy.
Okay,
it's crazy.
I don't think. I think it's crazy to be okay with losing in the first round.
It's not being okay with it, but you're taking.
You are. Then you pick.
You're not. You're taking.
It's a black or white issue.
It
absolutely is.
No, it's not.
When you're a GM, if you're making decisions, you have to be. It's either black or white.
You're playing too much that video game, GM.
No, it's not that. I've been saying this way before that. If you're either all in, or you're all out. If you're playing the middle, you lose.
But they're not playing the middle. They went making the Jimmy Butler trade. Like you're going for it. They're trying,
and they don't have enough to win. They're not going to beat LA. They're not going to beat Oklahoma City. They're not going to beat Boston if they get that far, and they won't get that far. They can't even get out of the fucking play-in game right now.
We'll see. They might. But even if they do it,
they do have the second best odds to get out of the West.
It's crazy. Like this.
Okay, that's crazy.
Because he's just holding on to. They're like if they don't win it all, he's gonna be like,
no, they won't. If they They just lost the fucking Spurs.
Oh, they lost the game. Crazy. All right.
Yeah, it is. They've also lost 33 games.
The Celtics in the playoffs lost to the Heat with no Jimmy Butler. Who cares?
We just lost to Miami.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they lost. So what? Like
they can't afford to. The Celtics have
aren't they like
21 losses.
Aren't they like 20-3 since the?
No, not anymore.
Yes,
They've lost their last 2. They can't be 20-3.
No, with Jimmy, he sat out like a game or two. I'm pretty sure with Jimmy Butler, since they made the trade, they're like 20 or 21 and like 4, like something.
5, 6. They've lost their last
22 and 5.
They're 20,
and they lost.
Pretty good.
That's great. That's fantastic.
Pretty fucking good.
Yep. Unfortunately, it won't be good enough because they are in a disastrous situation right now.
Disastrous.
They're the second best odds.
Disastrous.
I don't care. Right now, they're in the play game.
They're not the Celtics, so they're not the Thunder. So you should just quit.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the other issue too is you have so many other strong teams in the West. It's not just the Thunder and Celtics.
There's competition. We should quit.
If there's a certain amount of competition, you should quit. Yes.
Who do you think? Who do you think's better than them?
And then you know what you'll be? Then you'll be the fucking Knicks. You'll win 50 games and you'll be out in the second round. You say, "Oh, next year we'll get them." Next year's our chance as the team gets older and older and the asset gets more. It depreciates and depreciates.
Yeah, the Knicks, that old team where no one.
No, but I'm saying, but eventually that's where you're going to be, though.
I just don't think. Who do you think's gonna? Who do you think's better than them that they'd like lose to on the way to the like Western Conference Finals?
The Lakers, the Thunder, the Rockets.
You think the Rockets will?
I think the Rockets are a very good team.
That's crazy.
Okay.
How many teams in the West can you say
Clippers are playing really well?
Can win a title? Where does your list end? Oklahoma City, yes. Houston.
That can win the championship?
I don't know if I'd say Houston can win the championship.
Houston's not going to win.
I know, but
you're crossing them off?
Yeah.
I don't cross them off.
They're not winning the whole thing.
The Lakers.
The Rockets are the 2 seed with the 7th best odds to come out of the West.
They're not winning it all.
And that just shows you that the money is all going to Golden State because people probably think like you guys.
Yeah, the regular season, they just stayed
Dude,
inflated.
I don't think it's anything to do with money and like if people betting on the Warriors. It's probably their current form. They're like, oh shit, this team is better than half of the West.
Correct.
And they're using the data from when they got the Jimmy Butler trade, and they're kind of erasing everything that was.
So you don't think the money coming in affects the line at all?
I think
you're wrong.
With futures, no.
With futures, it's not going to a lot. No.
Sure.
I think that can happen where a team can be really good in the regular season and have no shot to win it. That makes sense.
I didn't say no shot. I hate saying no shot.
I'm saying with the Rockets, I'm saying no shot.
All right, so Oklahoma City, Houston's out. Lakers, yes.
Yes.
Denver.
Yes. Even though I know that they have their issues.
I'm not going to say no shot.
I can't say a team with Jokic has no shot.
Clippers.
But why can we say that a team with Jokic has no like? I'm not going to say no shot, but with Steph Curry, you're going to say no.
I feel like Jokic dominates the game more than Steph Curry does right now.
Crazy.
Okay.
Memphis.
Nah,
I don't think so either. Too much so.
No, I don't. Yeah.
Clippers.
I don't see it personally.
They're playing so much better, but I can't imagine that.
I don't care. They could have LeBron, Jokic, and Luka, and I still, at no point in my life do I see the Clippers cutting down the Nets. I know that's a problem, but that's just the way franchises go. I don't think Clippers will ever do it. Memphis, we said no. Golden State, yes.
I say no.
I think they have a better chance than like all these teams besides besides the Thunder and then
tail end of it, but and the Minnesota, no.
No, not this year, no.
So you would have.
But the problem is, I think the Celtics are better than all of them anyway. On the other side,
me too.
Well, I had a point.
The Thunder are good.
No, the Thunder can.
Thunder are like great.
The Thunder are, in my opinion, the Thunder are the only team I could like realistically see beating the Celtics. Like I think they actually could maybe. Even the Lakers, I feel like they're getting it's. I don't know. We'll see. They just having 2 incredible players like that. Like maybe they could pull off something miraculous, but
the Lakers, I think, have a real shot.
I think they have.
I'm not saying they're going to, or I would even take it, but like. I think they have like a legit. The idea that they're not the number 2 in the odds to me is insane. That is insane to me. That the Warriors have meanwhile the Lakers have almost clinched home court in the first round. Like that's like crazy to me.
I think it's good. The Warriors with this team in a 7-game series. I think you feel pretty good about it with almost anybody.
Speaking of 7-game series,
this is interesting.
Oh, any playing team to reach the conference finals.
Reach the second round.
Second round of the playoffs. Yeah, that makes sense.
That's pretty wild. That's honestly like a kind of a crazy line. Saying that it's highly likely that like a 7 or 8 seed is going to make the second round.
The Rockets.
Yeah, and I don't.
Honestly,
think
it's because of the fucking Warriors.
Yeah,
because the Warriors are going to fuck around and be the 7 and be favored over the Rockets.
You're basically betting if the Warriors get the 7.
I mean, you have other good teams in the West that could be the play-in too, like Minnesota. I mean, you could say Dallas, or they're not with Kyrie. Could the Clippers of Memphis fall?
But even think about the play-in, like it's
probably primarily Warriors. Right?
It's basically like I mean, I don't think the 8 seed's beating the Thunder.
Can
So
Golden
the only other
State-
option is like the 7 seed beating the Rockets.
Dukes, pull those odds back up. Oh, wait. No,
This is for the Rockets. This
Yeah,
is
don't
just- this is
do
just
that.
Rockets.
Go to the one where any team, play in performance. Oh, so it's any team to make the second round of the playoffs is minus 215.
I guess it's on the East side as well.
Right.
So the East accounts.
Okay.
But even
See,
that,
I was looking for a
even
no.
that, someone's going to knock off the the Celtics.
No,
or the Cavs.
I was looking
mean,
for a no.
Maybe the Pacers?
I want a no,
No, right?
But they're not playing.
They're not playing. No, it had to be the Celtics or
No, the
you're right.
Pacers are a 4 seed.
No, you're right. It'd be the Celtics or Cavs. Yeah, that's not going to happen.
So what I
The
want,
most likely one would be like the Warriors
Yes.
would be literally favored over the Rockets.
what I would
in
look
that series
at
on the
again,
road.
Yes.
That's why that line is what
Yes,
it is.
yes.
That's the only explanation.
Right.
what I would look at is can the Warriors slide into the 6 hole, and then I want to take the no market on that. You get what I'm saying?
I might fuck around and
Because if
take
the
that
Warriors,
Eastern
unless
Conference.
it's the Warriors, no one in the East is doing it. Unless it's the Warriors, and I don't think whoever plays Oklahoma City is going to beat them as well.
You don't think the Clippers could beat the Rockets? Why?
You think
Clippers
the
could definitely beat the
fall-
Rockets.
Oh, you think the Clippers could fall?
I'm just
into
saying.
that hole? Yeah, I
Sure,
guess.
mean, it
it's-
could,
They
you don't think
could,
the
they could.
Timberwolves could beat the Rockets?
no.
I think
I think actually, I think that line,
maybe.
that line
I
has
think they
that line
could.
has more to do with the Rockets than the Warriors.
But
Yeah, I was looking
but
for
the
a no.
Warriors are the most likely to fall in that spot and are the favorites over all the other
Correct.
teams.
Maybe it's a combination.
But I think the Clippers could potentially be favored. I don't know about the
It sounds like the market,
Wolves. I don't know.
the book isn't very high on the Rockets based on like what Dukes was saying, how like they're like 7th and odds. So like I think that has a lot to
I
do
think
with
it
the
makes sense. They're really young. I mean, because they got a couple like Dylan Brooks and Van Vliet are veterans, but
No, they're
like-
super young. Yeah,
their best players. I mean, are Jalen Green, Sanguin, Thompson. Like they're all mostly younger guys. Jabari Smith.
Speaking of 7-game series, I think the Celtics are unbelievable, obviously. But the Celtics did slide into the 2 hole. Now they might not care about the regular season. If you look at the 4 games, and again, they are regular season, and I don't know who was hurt, I don't know who was out. But just again from a guy trying to float like hypotheticals or make some interesting points. Cleveland's 2-2 in the regular season against Boston.
Yeah.
Those games were decided the losses by 3 and 7, the wins by 7 and 4.
The one time the Cavs won too, they were down like 25 to
right.
3.
So
To start the game,
yeah,
and came
yeah.
back and won.
Are these teams a little bit closer than what is being reported that the Celtics will run away with it? That's all I'm really saying. I'm just trying
I've tried to pose that. I think the Celtics will win. I said to Pat Bev, I was like, we had him in. I was like, what do you give the Cavs a chance? He said none to beat the Celtics in a 7-game series. And listen, like there's part of me that's like I get it because I'm sitting here saying I think the Celtics are going to win. That would be my pick. But the Celtics are just so good and so deep. I even have a hard time even seeing like the Thunder. I think the Thunder have the best shot, and I think it'll be like an incredible series. But I just think they're so loaded. They probably are a little bit better than they were last year. I mean,
So what do you think Cleveland takes them to? They do have home
I think
court.
they can win 2 games at least.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they would get 2.
Cleveland does have 63
Even
wins.
3. I think they could force a game 7, which that'd be. I mean, game 7 in Cleveland would be like that'd be incredible.
Yeah, the Celtics having to escape that would be very, very interesting.
I think it goes like you put a gun in my head. I would say it goes 5 if you like. But I'm not looking past the Cavs
I just want to
because they won 63 games.
Well, that's what I'm like saying in 5, and like not looking past a little bit, like a little.
I know, but I'm saying
disrespectful.
if you took,
I think 6.
But I'm saying if someone said you have to decide right now and your life depends on it, I would say Celtics in 5. But that's if I had to make a decision.
all I'm saying.
What would you say if someone put a gun to your head and you have to decide?
All I'm saying is
6 or 7.
on the court.
Really?
Yeah, I would think I would.
On the
Because
court.
they get home court as well in the
Oh,
series.
Yeah, on the court, I think these 2 teams are closer than what's being reported in terms of hypotheticals or on paper. You know what I'm saying? It seems like everyone on paper says Celtics will definitely beat the Cavs. I'm just saying what's been decided on the court is they're pretty close. That's all. And granted, it was only 4 regular season games, and
Very
regular
close.
season might not meet as much, but yeah, I mean they've played very close. That's all I'm.
I mean, Porzingis did miss. I know at least one of those games.
Yeah, that's all I'm.
But like I said,
close.
But things can happen in the playoffs. Yeah, I mean, the other thing too is by the time they play each other, there could be injuries. You could have, they would have played 2 rounds in the playoffs each team. So things could happen. Things could shift for both teams.
I think the Cavs did a good job at least trying to match up with like bodies that like the Celtics have. Like I think getting like Hunter was absolutely massive. Just have like another like big wing defender. Like having like him and Mobley that you can like Mobley can like defend Porzingis. You can have like Hunter defend Tatum. Like I think they did a good job at least getting like bodies that can match up. And they have scores. Like Garland can score. Obviously, Mitchell obviously is a scorer.
Child
like
abuse.
Ty Jerome. That was so disrespectful. Bridges was playing good defense. I'll say it again.
Abuse. That's what DeAndre Hunter will be.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
Children abuser.
I don't
Jason
think
Tatum.
so. They got over the hump last year, and I give them credit for that. We're quick to forget this team was chokers until last year.
Wow.
I'm just saying. We're.
I would rather choke in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Or the NBA Finals.
I mean, yeah, like
They made NBA Finals. Like,
I think it's a fair criticism. I mean,
they were also doing.
they were
this when
right
they
there
were
for
like,
years, and they were like,
No,
they were massive favorites over the Warriors. The Warriors smacked them around.
Michael Jordan.
They lost to the Heat, the fucking 8 seed.
awful. That one I'll give you.
just saying,
I'll give you that one.
I'm just saying, like they've had some, like they're not invincible, but I think this team is great, and I think they're going to win it.
Michael Jordan.
I'm just saying
Michael Jordan lost when he was 25 too.
Dude, honestly, no. I'm old enough to remember when there was a time when Michael Jordan was considered he can't win because he'd been playing for 6 or 7 years.
That is the oldest thing you've ever said, by the way.
Before 1991 when he played the Lakers, they had never even been to NBA Finals.
He was scoring like 60 and they'd lose.
Yeah,
You
he
say
couldn't-
some things sometimes where I'm like, Clemmer's really not that old. We give him too big of a time. That's the oldest thing you've ever said.
No, there was a time in fact, I took the Lakers in that series. Well, think about it though. You have the Lakers who had my entire childhood had been winning finals, and then the Bulls went in and just slapped them around.
He couldn't get past the Pistons, right?
Or the Celtics.
That was early, yeah.
Yeah, it was Celtics then Pistons. The Pistons went to the NBA Finals 3 years in a row. In Jordan's, I don't say prime, but like, you know what I mean? Like
Jordan's up and coming.
Yeah. I like the Cavs coach a lot. Atkinson's a really good coach. So no, believe me, I'm not trying to be disrespectful when I say Celtics in 5. I think Celtics are that much better, but I'm not looking past the Cavs.
Luka scores 45 in his return to Dallas.
Yeah.
They're chanting "Fire Nico."
Just
I don't know.
Still mind-blowing.
I think Ev kind of touched on it, or when it was going. Like we will look back at this trade, and it's going to be a monumental swing. And
Did you hear what Jason Kidd said?
especially if the Lakers do win the title. No, what'd he say?
Jason Kidd compared it to like Babe Ruth.
Really?
Like, and that's crazy because like he's the coach of the fucking Cavs.
Yeah. No. Oh my
But
god.
he literally compared.
That's
shit.
crazy.
He compared it to Babe Ruth, being like, "We're gonna look back and like, how did the Lakers get away with this? Like the big bad Yankees, the big bad Lakers.
Jesus.
That's like
Let him just like take
like
just,
shitting in the face of your GM.
like your 25-year-old blue chip like can't miss 25-year-old
Just went to an NBA Finals.
five-time first team All NBA player at 25. Hey, let's call the Lakers and say, hey, how you feel about Luka? It's unfathomable. He was sobbing before the game in the pregame. He did not want to leave.
No.
It's stunning. Nico Harrison is a moron, an absolute moron. The fact that he thought he was like the smartest guy in the room, I'm gonna make this like what a fucking clown. He deserves everything he gets. He's a clown.
I don't know if I've ever seen any like a unanimous take. Like every sports fan was like, "What do you do?" Like,
and not only
it was 100%,
and they were all right, and they're
all right.
The fat slobs like me on the couch were all right, and he's an idiot. Like he is a dumbass. It's just unthinkable in like every facet of basketball, from like just pure basketball to like selling tickets, everything, merch, everything, just money, everything. Makes no sense. Absolutely no sense. It never will.
Yeah, Lakers.
And I'm really glad I bet AD double because he only scored 13 points.
Lakers look.
Thank God he got 11 rebounds.
There you go. Okay, there you go.
double, but
you got it.
it was just sweat.
Lakers look good. It's fair. As good as LeBron is, it's again. I don't want to outspeak not being an NBA guy locked in all season, but is it fair to say LeBron's the second fiddle on that team?
No.
I think it's like a 1A, 1B.
Yeah.
Or they can.
I think they do a good job.
Alternate who's the lead singer. Does that make sense?
Yes, correct. I think that's.
Yeah, there's a lot because like they'll
And that's a
alternate
nice
who takes
thing
the
to
balls.
have when he's 40. When LeBron's 40 years old. You know
They
what I mean?
both are. They both are willing passers.
Yeah.
Like as much as Luka, like you want it, like he shoots from deep and all that, like contested long jumpers, like threes. He does. He's a willing passer.
LeBron has always been a great passer.
That's what I'm saying. Like I think they share the ball.
He's a point forward,
Yes.
basically. Yeah, it's like
It's crazy how well. I mean, that's not crazy. Actually, it makes a lot of sense how well they play together. like their skills almost like mesh perfectly. Like it's such a great marriage, these two, because like Luka can do things that LeBron probably doesn't want to do anymore because he's older, but then LeBron can do things that Luka just isn't mature enough to do. It's such a good matchup. I don't know. That team scares the shit out.
I think Luka takes a lot of the pressure off LeBron's just like offensive workload, where he can really kind of like save the energy for crunch time. Where like he's so used to like Luka's the better ISO player. Like if you want to just get a bucket, like Luka can like literally clear out for Luka, and then LeBron can take over when he wants to, or they can run sets. I mean, there's just a lot they can do with the two of them.
I also feel like this trade rejuvenated LeBron in that sense that when he wants to slide to the second, it's not going to be that hard to slide.
It's like Kareem and Magic.
He can play for a little bit longer. Yeah. Obviously, he has Luka. Like he does have a young coach that is very good. Obviously, like Redick's been pretty good. Obviously, with that success, like it's the Lakers. You're going to attract probably guys to come to you as like third pieces or fourth pieces or maybe on a rehab thing, like they fuck around, whatever, and they want to go win a ring. Like I just think LeBron's now got, I don't even know how many more years.
It's
weird to say.
It's literally the Lakers blueprint in the 80s.
Is he 40 yet? He's 40, right? He was graduated high school in 03.
Is he 30?
Which means
he's 40, isn't he?
18 in 03.
39. I think he's 39 this year, 40 next year. Is that right?
Yeah.
He's 40.
This is so funny.
He turned 40 in December.
That's crazy.
It's like they clenched, and it's like, this feels so good, man. Through everything we've been through, people replying like they didn't have a generational player for 2 years, and they act like they went to fucking war.
What do you mean they didn't? They had LeBron. They always had a generational player.
From 2016, someone replied was like they didn't have a Hall of Famer for 2 years, 2016 to 2018, and they went to
still kind of did with AD.
Yeah, but in 2016, 2018, they had AD. Yeah. Right? No. You're right.
Right. Like after Kobe, before LeBron.
Right.
They're like, everyone's clowning on.
No, this is exactly what the Lakers did when they got Magic. When they had Magic and he became better and better. Kareem was able to take that back seat, and Kareem stayed in the league like 2 years longer than you would have thought. 3 years longer, because he didn't need to be the guy. This could prolong LeBron's career. LeBron's so much better than Kareem was at his age anyway. LeBron could play 5 if LeBron wanted to. I think he could play another. If he was willing to be like the 10th guy on the team, he could play 10 more years. I think LeBron could literally play until I don't know. Like he could be in his 50s. Like Julio Franco.
His production has literally not dropped off. He's averaging. I'm saying he's not the same player.
Yeah.
But in terms of like stats, he's averaging like very similar numbers.
It is, the offense is different. It is easier now than ever before to score.
Like he's averaging very similar. Like his point per game averages are pretty on par with.
He's not as dominant as he was 10 years ago.
He doesn't have like the bounce he had, but I actually think you could argue in some ways. Like I think he's a better shooter than he was at early in his career.
Yeah.
I think you lose a step, but you pick up like skill, that old man skill, that IQ. Your IQ just I think. His IQ is probably the best in the league.
He's literally doing what no one else has ever. No one at 40 in the NBA has ever been a super productive player.
That is an interesting.
This is like it's crazy what he's doing.
Yeah, that is an interesting take. Like if he did want to just stay in the league,
yes,
and slide to the 8th or 9th man on a team,
he could play to his 50.
Yes, I believe that
legitimately.
Unless he has catastrophic injury.
Yes, correct.
I don't think he wants to do that.
No one does
in his bag. But
Ricky Henderson did, but very few legends do.
He really could, like, if you're talking about 10, 12 minutes a game where that's all he's got to get geared up for, or he goes in and he's a little bit
Carter.
Like, get to the line like 3 or 4 times where he could draw a foul still, whatever. Like, yeah, I mean, he really could play.
But Carter, like, being like at the end of the bench was like the amount of years like LeBron's in right now.
I know.
That's the crazy part.
That's when we talk about I'm not trying to rehab. I say these guys are getting old fast because 36 in the NBA is it's 80-year-old in human years. LeBron is basically 110. He's just still going. It's just crazy what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to turn it into a debate, but I do think that Jordan is the best winner and LeBron's the best player.
Yeah,
I don't think that's.
I mean, the best winner. Not Bill Russell. Bill Russell never lost a Game 7. Has all. I have a
how many teams in the league?
He went up against fucking Wilt Chamberlain.
A lot less.
He won against Wilt Chamberlain
for a lot of it.
Well, I guess yeah. Well,
it's hard for me because Bill Russell. But I understand what you're saying. In the modern era, that's perfectly fair.
Stick to your guns. You're right.
No, because it's a different. Bill Russell to me is the ultimate winner in any sport. But if you want to go modern era, what we've seen, Jordan is the greatest winner.
I firmly believe that Jordan retiring for a year helped go three for three.
Yeah, that's the.
Did you guys brought that up on the show before, right?
That's fair.
Yeah.
I don't
That,
like.
like,
What do you want to go
someone
8 for 8?
Someone brought up a point one time that I really liked it. That like dynasties, you kind of see, even like with the Warriors with KD, that like after like 3 years, you start to see friction built in. And with what I've read and what I've watched about Jordan and the Bulls, there was a little bit of friction. And then they had the really good year after he retired, but it was like, we're not going to be able to go to the mountaintop without him. So then it was like everyone kind of accepted their roles again.
Yeah, I said it.
They were different teams too.
Right.
The second team had Kukoc, had Rodman. The first team had B.J. Armstrong, had Horace Grant.
Right.
Yeah, he rejuvenated both teams, or they're two different teams in the three.
Really, are two other than Pippen and Phil, there really are two different.
I said it joking around in the gambling cave in Chicago the other day. Like when you get to heaven, there's playouts of Montana versus Brady.
Oh, all right.
Like I do think that's
I like
what
this.
sports is.
The simulation.
Yeah, I do think there is a room with a bunch of your friends, and St. Peter goes, "Here you go, guys," and pops on the DVD, and it's the '94 season, and you get to watch if Jordan won that in '94,
No, see
and
what-
'95, and then at the end, you get, no matter what that outcome is, you do get to see what happens in '99 if Krause stuck him around. You know what I mean? Like,
See, what I would
do
want-
think that shit gets to play.
I love
out.
that
I really
stuff.
do.
I'd want like
Because that's one of the most compelling what ifs in the NBA. Like, what would they have done? Would they really have gone? Could you really win 10 in a row, or 8 in a row? Like, or
Crazy
it would have
to
been
think
8.
about.
Not
Would've been 8.
It would have been 8.
Were you
And
going
then
for
at
9?
that point, going for 9. Like, could you
Or
really
like,
do
dude's
that?
just saying like, would there have been friction built in after say 5? And Pippen's like, all right, like I need a new challenge. or
Yeah,
whatever.
could they keep those guys around? Yeah, I also think, like, let's call a spade a spade. At the end of the 98 and 97 seasons, they kind of, maybe not 97, they played Utah twice, right?
Yes.
yeah.
The Sonics was 96.
It went Sonics, Utah.
Yeah, so Utah were both pretty close in
6
those
games.
championships.
Yeah, they went 6.
98 for
I think they went
sure
6
was
It went
close.
6.
Yeah.
Well, they said, they were on record, the Bulls said if they didn't win 6, they thought they were losing 7. Or they were definitely banged up and Pippen was hurt. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
those finals were not, they didn't Ruckshaw
No
through teams.
No, they did not.
So at the end, they barely beat the Jazz in 98, let's say. They needed Jordan shot, obviously, and he's the best to do it. But in 99, like, they're not running away with the, you know what I mean? Like,
They're all
teams
getting
are,
older.
Yeah, exactly. Teams are catching up. So it's that, playing that out, to me, is fascinating.
And then
I'd
you
love
also
to watch
you
that.
get Shaq and Kobe in LA. Imagine that. An old Bulls team against that Lakers team.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I think the dream would be like I want to see '96 Bulls versus like 2000 Lakers.
Oh, no, that's the
I want to
first-
see like
That was the first part.
like
said,
that, I want
yeah.
to see like '96 Bulls versus like KD's Warriors, like
Yeah.
that team, like that kind of shit. That's what I would want to see.
Yeah, that's
love
well,
alternate
that was how I
sports
started.
Like, I want to see like the best team. Like I want to see like the best teams ever. Like
Yeah.
go at it.
That's how I started the hypothetical.
No,
Montana versus
Montana.
Brady. Yeah.
But even argue that, of course, yeah, best NFL teams. We actually did this with college the other day. Like see like the 2019 LSU versus like 01 Miami.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like
I'd
that,
love
like
to
shit
see
like that would be unbelievable.
I think a lot of the modern teams would still, as good as the Bulls were in '96. I just think the speed and the size of
They're so much bigger and faster now.
That's what we say too. Like you could put that '77 Steelers team or one of those teams, whatever it was when they were unbelievable. Jack Lambert was fucking 6'2",
tiny,
like
yeah.
250, and
no, I think you're overhyping. He was way
he
smaller.
was younger. And
way
Cam
smaller.
Newton is 6'6" and fucking 2.
I think it was Jack Lambert was like
260.
6 foot, like 215.
Yeah,
It's unfair. Like you put the 65 Celtics that were incredible against these teams. The Celtics, that team wouldn't score 30 points. Like I get that, but that's
Honestly,
not fair. You can only play to the world you're in.
There's the young guy in me that would be like the funniest like internet day of all time. If like they like played out those simulations and like the new teams were just like running roughshod over
They
the
say that now, but then 20 years
would
from
be
now, the kids do
hysterical.
that to you and to your team.
No,
You're
sure,
like, fuck.
sure, but I'm just saying internet would be so funny. Like all like the old heads having to just like eat it.
Well, that's just evolution, though. Like that's not like you still.
I'm saying it would be funny. Like it'd be
Yeah.
funny to like
I mean-
be like, oh, like they like no one beats like Jordan's Bulls, and then like we play the games, and then they're like they lose in like 5 to the Lakers, they lose in like 5 to the Warriors, and we're like
They might.
Which
like,
I
we
do
told
think
you.
you would. I do think
I
they
mean,
would.
it's so much
But
bigger and
that's-
faster now. Like
or they
that's
beat
what I
him,
said.
or they beat him, and the old heads are like, "Fuck you."
Yeah, right. That's why it's interesting.
I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think so either.
You look at like baseball. Like if you put Mason Miller against Babe Ruth, Babe Ruth wouldn't know what to do. He'd like
yeah.
he's facing an
Well, no,
injury.
that guy. I was talking a little like at least within the last like 30 years.
Yeah.
Even if you put
Like
Mason
40
Miller
years.
against like Wade Boggs, he's never seen a guy like that.
No, I'm sure.
You know, like
sure, you're
guys
right.
are so much better now.
Sure. I mean, guys throwing like 101 with like movement.
Back in the 80s, if you threw 90, you were like a specimen. Like, oh, this guy goes 90?
The NFL fires 3 refs none of them did playoff games last year, or maybe one did a wild card. I wrote a blog on it, but my main take, we've had this take forever. They got to get these guys full time.
Absolutely.
And especially when you look at what the NFL has done to kind of dominate the calendar. So if you start September 1st, they obviously have the season. Season runs through February. Then you have mini camps and you have free agency in March, whatever. That runs into the draft. Then you have the schedule release. Then you have, or free agency is in there somewhere. Then you kind of run into maybe a little bit of a dead time in like May. But then you have mini camps, and that runs right into the preseason, and then here we go again. They've done, no matter what show you're on at any point, I mean, we're doing it today, you can find an NFL story somewhere. Somebody's going to talk about an NFL story. Or like you run into somebody in a pizzeria, like, what they're probably, hey, how do you think the Jets are going to be this year? Yeah. Everybody's dialed into the NFL year-round. So you wonder, like, why have they not, and they definitely make the money.
No, because they only made $13 billion last year.
Get these guys
How can you pay
in
a ref?
full
You make
time,
$13
and
billion.
like you would say, well, what are they supposed? They only work from September to February, so they're entitled to make a living from February back to September. In their real jobs. My take is also reverse with that. Train them,
Yes.
more. Do conferences, do hypotheticals, like I don't know, fucking play out different calls in stuff, like do have points of emphasis. Team building, fucking, I don't know, whatever. But they're paying a salary. Like, I only think they could get better if you put them year round.
Why don't
where I would be?
So
at.
the argument is, they work September to February. Well, baseball umpires work March to October. They don't go. Their job is umpiring.
Yeah.
And like you said, you tell me there aren't ways to learn the rule book better or to have simulations, have them in have the NFL made $13 billion. You're telling me you can't pay these refs full time? Get the fuck out of here. It's insane. It's insane they're willing to risk their business on these part-time guys because they control so much of what we watch.
Well, they don't get. We're gonna watch no matter what.
Right. I think there is the
People aren't not watching. It doesn't affect their bottom line whatsoever.
I guess you're right. But
That's just the reality.
No, you're absolutely right about that. But what if you had a ref that was horrible and really fucked up a game that, in theory, put competition in jeopardy? Say
they would just. Yeah, they would just fire him or just
I guess, but
I'll put him on big games.
My thing is why risk this when you could just pay your refs and get your refs to be even better than they are now? It seems like such a no-brainer. I don't understand it.
Selfish.
Masters. Can you pull up the leaderboard, or is that
illegal?
Will that get us? Don't do it. Don't do it if don't do it if we get a suit.
The guy rides off to a good start.
Jager is leading right now.
The Masters sues everybody.
Did Rye fall
Scheffler's
off?
3 under through 8. I mean, he's a fucking.
Jager's 4 under through 11.
Oh, Ray fell off. Oh my God, Ray died. Oh wow, he bogeyed 3 of the last 5.
Morikawa.
He wasn't first.
Bogey. Where is he?
Some people going. I got Minwoo Lee. Let him cook 1 under.
I
got him top 10 and a little sprinkle. He was like.
All right, Morikawa 1 under. Morikawa 1 under through 9. I'll take that.
Solid.
Took Fred Couples to make the cut and Mike Weir.
He had a really good start to his round.
He did. He birdied. He's even right now.
That's solid.
12,
That's a good cut round.
Mike Weir was higher odds. He is +2 through 16. So he's got a shot. It's a big day tomorrow.
We did that sports bucket list draft. I took Masters 1-1. I don't think that's an exaggeration. I thought that was pretty easy when you think about how hard it is to go to something.
I don't think it's a bad pick because of the exclusivity.
Yeah. But I also
say it's like a one-of-a-kind experience.
Here's the other thing.
I think it's a fine pick.
I do think there are some people who are like, I ain't never watching golf in person. Would be the only down tick of that.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I went to when I was in college, one of my good friends in college, he went to school to do groundskeeping and that kind of thing, run it. And he interned at the U.S. Open in Pittsburgh area, Latrobe. And he hooked me up where I was able to get I got him as Father's Day gift for my dad and grandfather, 3 tickets to the U.S. Open for $90 total. He gave me what he got him for. So we made a trip out of it. We all went. It honestly was awesome. It was the one that Dustin Johnson ended up winning. And we went in person. It honestly was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, to see the speed.
Take your phones, right?
No, it was US Open.
The Masters take your phones, and I guess the food is super inexpensive.
It's cheap, yeah.
And I guess it feels like you're
The Masters is an
back in
unreal
time.
experience of what they.
I mean, the scenery's beautiful. Everything about it is just the highest of high, just top notch. Everything's A1.
I don't think for a general sports fan, I don't think it's a bad 1-1 pick at all.
No, not at all.
No, I think it's because of the exclusivity, but yeah.
You'll have some hardos who are just like, oh, like, fuck golf. It's like stupid. But I mean, if you're like a general sports fan, I think it's a great.
I mean, I guess you could say like the Super Bowl or like a World Series game, but like I don't know. I
think Masters. No, the
Masters is so
exclusivity.
unique.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, and it's
here's
so
the thing with the World Series. You're not going to the Rangers Diamondbacks to say you went to a World Series game. I think that's way down people's lists.
Yeah, probably.
You're only going to the World Series if it's your team.
Probably right.
You get what I'm
It
saying?
definitely makes it way higher on the list for
Yes.
sure.
Yeah, that's fair.
So that's where I'm at. 2 quick NFL headlines. One was really puzzling to me. Alan Lazard is going to take a pay cut to stay with the Jets.
I mean,
Well,
he
yeah,
was,
it's either that or get
he was
cut.
that or just get cut.
I think that happens a lot in the NFL.
He can't find another home anywhere?
Not where they're going to pay him.
Not where
At all?
they're gonna pay him.
All right,
His
all right.
contract's crazy.
All right. The way I didn't dive into it as well, and maybe I didn't know, like, but I guess I just looked at that headline. Pay cut to stay with the Jets, I found to be massively stupid given how bad the Jets are going to be.
No, but it's crazy. Like he'll
has
make
no
so
other
much
options?
more money
Got it.
with the Jets.
All right, yeah. I mean, learn something new every day.
Honestly, it's the Jets being stupid.
I knew he was pretty washed up. I mean, the
Yeah,
name has been around for a long period of time.
Jets
I do
were
get
dumb to
that.
give him that contract. The Jets did it to try to entice Rodgers. The whole thing
Yes,
was a shit show.
right.
They way overpaid him.
And then Tyreek Hill in another battle again.
Yeah, that's like
No.
shocker.
I-
Horrible person is acting bad again.
I really question. Is he in the league anymore? Like, what are we doing?
I think he'll play. I think he'll.
I mean,
play
this is a guy that
I think sadly talent will always outweigh.
like hurting
he's like
kids.
and he's like a star now. Like
I
mean,
think it'll
he's-
always outweigh. I think there are people who can justify it, man. There is always how it's gonna go.
I think there's a line, and then there's like 4 more lines, and then it's hurting kids, and you got to go over 5 lines.
I'm not disagreeing with in what you're saying and what he did, but I do think the way sports operate as a business, they are making a business decision where it could still make the team better.
I feel like
There is somebody.
Ray Rice
is
got-
somebody who will look the other way on that.
But Ray Rice. Well, the thing with Ray Rice is again,
he was older.
you saw it though. You saw it with your own eyes. I'm telling you, it changes everything for the American public. The way the narrative.
You're right.
There's kids everywhere who love Tyreek Hill. They have no idea how he is as a human. They just see him put up 1,800 yards and 12 touchdowns with the Dolphins and with the Chiefs, and they're like, he's the best receiver in the league or one of them, and they're like, that's all it is. Like, I mean, he had these years before he got drafted with it. It's the reason he went in the 5th round.
Went in the 5th round.
Because he got kicked out of college for it. He went to like some shitty like lower end school. Andy Reid saw the talent, took a shot on him, and football wise, obviously it worked out. He's become like a Hall of Fame caliber receiver if he gets put in.
Not to bring everything back to baseball, like Julio Urias had 2 domestic assault suspensions, and he's basically blackballed out of baseball. Trevor Bauer is not with any team.
Yeah, but they were flirting with Bauer coming back. I think a little bit. Too even.
I mean, I guess he's not technically suspended, but but no team's gonna touch him because it's
Right.
I think hurting a kid is, don't get me wrong, domestic abuse is horrible. Hurting a kid is like a different layer of that where it's like so hard. Like,
I mean, the one he did in college was that he beat up his pregnant girlfriend.
I mean, like, there's like nothing.
it was like-
there's literally nothing in the world you can do worse than that. There's like nothing. There's like no. It's so inhuman. I don't know. At some point, I don't know. Like, why am I watching this guy on my TV? Like, I don't want to watch him in any games.
I mean, yeah, I think he's. I mean, unless like it's something like I said, a video or something comes out, I don't think. Or he gets like just convicted, straight up convicted. I don't think.
And I feel bad for Dolphins fans. Like, I wouldn't want to root for a guy like that. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, the Dolphins are in a weird spot that, like, Hill obviously has his issues, so you never know if he's even going to stay on the field.
Yep.
Tua, unfortunately, has had horrible injuries.
Yep.
And, like, tough to watch injuries. And, again, they're concussions, so it's not even like, oh, he tore his ACL and he's just banged up. Like, not that would be any better, but, like.
No, but it could
concussions
recur.
Are just brutal, And then, why is the name escaping me? Who's their other star wide
Waddle.
receiver?
He's
Waddle.
honestly, Tyreek Hill is always like, or mostly playing. Like Waddle's had a ton of injuries. He's missed a lot of games.
He's missed games, too.
Tyreek Hill has
Yeah,
been
it's
like
just
mostly available.
And, again,
They've just had a horrible
No,
quarterback.
but I think
play.
he means more just like
just the Dolphins.
field stuff.
Yeah, it's
No,
just-
I get you. But
Yeah,
I'm saying
but-
he's at least like played, I guess.
just the Dolphins in general, in that term of like, and again, you were in that 20-year window where you were never going to win with the Patriots. Like you're not having that success. And then who comes down the pike or right behind that is Allen.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. It's just the Dolphins. Yeah, I don't really, obviously I don't know.
they haven't won a playoff game. Since
I don't care
2000.
about it because Frank's here. But like, yeah, you just look at franchises and like, whether, I don't know. It's one of those you don't really pay attention. And then before you realize it, you're like, oh yeah, you know what? They have had a brutal run.
They just
Or
ran like
they have
shit.
Brutal
Yeah.
run.
They just ran like absolute.
Or it's just been a long time since they succeeded.
I think like the Jets are horrible, right? The Jets have won like 6 playoff games since the Dolphins have last won. Like, think about that.
Dolphins are a joke.
Think about how bad the Jets.
That again?
The Jets have won 6 playoff games since the Dolphins have won 1.
Jesus.
You think about how bad the Jets are.
Yeah, Jets are horrible.
Yeah.
How many of the Lions won since the Dolphins won one?
Honestly,
was it only
honestly,
one
honestly
Stafford?
not many. Honestly,
More than the Dolphins?
I guess-
Well, yeah, I mean, but
Two?
it's like 2.
2.
Because last year they didn't even win one.
Right.
And the year
More
before
than
they
the
won one?
Dolphins?
The year before they won
1 or 2.
2.
And then
They beat
Stafford won 1, right?
Yeah, they won 2.
Like before. So it's 3.
Yeah,
then
Stafford
total?
won 1.
I
Maybe.
think they've won 3 since the Dolphins.
Wait, did Stafford even win a playoff
He
game?
won 1. Yeah, I'm wrong.
Stafford did.
He might. I don't think he did actually. They went to the playoffs once or twice. I
Isn't
don't
that-
think
like there are people who can like legally buy alcohol who have never in their lifetime seen a Dolphins playoff win.
Yeah, you can also, start listing random franchises that have not had a ton of success. Washington, right?
And
Has
they've won-
Washington won more?
The Jets.
Well, they just won 2.
Jets.
this
Just
year.
won- yeah.
I know. But I'm saying Washington had to win one in that stretch, right? From 2000?
Did they win
Yeah,
the
yeah.
RG3 game?
No, they lost.
lost that
He
one.
got
That
hurt.
one.
Got hurt.
Got hurt and they lost. That was Seahawks.
Who else are some random franchises that are like just middle of the road? It feels like they're always middle of the road.
Honestly, on the team that they've weirdly had like,
Tennessee Titans have won more, right?
well, they went to NFC. They've been to like multiple. They've won multiple playoff games in the Tannehill era.
Yeah, right.
They went to an
They
AFC
went to
championship
Yeah, but
game.
Tennessee, when you think of NFL juggernauts, Tennessee's not an NFL juggernaut.
Jaguars have been to an AFC championship game.
multiple times.
Bengals. I'm looking at teams who like
Multiple
did have bad hits when the Bengals were a laughing stock. The Bucks, I know it's going back to the 80s and 90s, and they did get Brady, so it's whatever. But like the Bucks were a laughing stock
Yep.
for a while. They've won like
Honestly, the one that's
They've been
been
one of the best franchises in the past 5 years.
The Bucks have won 2. No, but he's saying before that.
but they were really
They were
really
the-
bad
yeah.
for a long. I'm just thinking of
Rico, the Bucks have won 2 Super Bowls since the Dolphins won a playoff game.
like non-traditional powerhouses. Like who
Isn't that
else
crazy?
jumps out?
They had
Bengals,
2
Lions.
Different teams win playoff. Win
What about the fucking Cardinals? Cardinals have been to a Super Bowl.
Cardinals been to a Super Bowl.
They should have won that Super Bowl too.
Yeah.
Who
Honestly,
else jumps out in terms
honestly-
of like random teams?
Dregs of the NFL. Yeah.
The Jaguars? Have the Jaguars won?
No, they went to the AFC title game with
At
Bortles.
least one AFC title.
They went to
game.
AFC championship.
It may have been.
Yeah, Jaguars. Fucking who else jumps out?
I always thought the Raiders
Carolina
were a joke, but they probably
Panthers.
aren't.
They've been to a Super Bowl.
Panthers have been to a Super Bowl.
Been the 2.
2.
2
They've been the 2.
since the Dolphins
since
since the
Dolphins-
Dolphins have won a
yes,
playoff
they've
game.
been
Yes,
to 2.
that's correct.
Wait. Yeah, they were.
They
'cause
lost
They were
to
the
Brady,
Patriots.
and they
They're
just
the
lost to
Patriots
the
Super Bowl.
Broncos.
I thought it was in the modern run of.
Isn't that crazy? That's how
Yeah.
far back it goes.
Yeah, I mean it's just a wild run for there. I got futures obviously on Morikawa and Henley via my brother. I got nothing in terms of baseball yet. I really haven't got into the. I think I'm maybe in denial coming out of basketball and doing that, but I'll get into baseball eventually. Nothing tonight. Clemmer, what do you got? Or what? Yeah, I guess that, and also a question in terms of who is a team that's been super outperforming. Or more of this, buy a stock or sell a stock on an MLB team. Maybe we'll do that like once a week.
I mean, the Braves are concerning just because they're 2-9 and they got a guy pop for PEDs, but they are getting Strider back, they are getting Acuna back, and 2-9. It's early, but that's a little.
2-9 is pretty bad.
It's concerning, especially with the Phillies and Mets playing so well. As far as like the Giants look intriguing to me. They're 9-3. They went and got Willie Adames, who's really been a spark plug for them. And the pitching, Robbie Ray looks better than he did last year. So that's a team that I think is really interesting. I guess those would be my 2. I also I took this as a future before, but the Tigers to win the Central. I think they're the most complete team. The Royals are fine. The Guardians have major issues, I think, with that offense, and I don't even like their starting pitching that much. And the Twins, you want to talk about a team that is in trouble? The Twins. Royce Lewis is hurt for a while. They're 4-8. Correa hasn't started hitting. I know it's early, but you don't want to dig yourself in too big of a hole. And they put Pablo Lopez in the IL yesterday.
Yeah.
So the Twins are the team. I'm like,
The Twins were never going to be a superpower.
they were odds-on favorite to win the division before the season
really?
started. But no, not superpower, but to win the division.
that makes sense. That division's very much interchangeable.
That's a team in trouble. I think.
Picks tonight.
I haven't put out yet my play of the day. Rafael Devers over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. They're playing the Blue Jays. He has destroyed Chris Bassett in his career. So I like that play.
Ev.
Yeah, I actually like that too. I like the Red Sox. I also
Is that
like.
plus money? What is that?
It's minus 115 for that.
Yeah, I also like. I'm taking the Timberwolves tonight. It's like just an absolute must-win spot. I think Ant goes and gets one at Memphis. Yeah, so I like the Timberwolves -2. I like the Red Sox money line, and I like the Angels money line as well. It starts in like 20 minutes.
Okay. Dude.
That's plus like one, like
Anything?
plus 100 or
Nope.
105.
Nothing.
College basketball's over.
All right. Yeah, I know.
I need a break.
Cross is over.
One headline.
No,
Oh, it's not over.
just starting.
Oh,
really?
I thought it ended already.
No, it's in the full swing of things.
What's moving? What's
Lacrosse.
Lacrosse. Yeah, that doesn't go till Memorial Day.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought it was over.
Memorial Day is when
Memorial
Rico has his best nap of the year.
Yeah, put
really?
that on. Fucking lacrosse, wake up. Yeah, it is what it is. A little coaching change in the circuit.
Alan Huss, by the way, he
Huss
just
bus.
he went left. Is that what you're gonna say? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I am.
No,
Husbus left High Point to be the coach in waiting at Creighton,
good move.
Wow.
where he
to be the
was
coach in
He's gonna be the
waiting.
assistant
coach in waiting.
coach?
He's going to be basically the associate head
That's
coach.
a wild.
Wow. I mean, he went to
No,
the,
it's
he went
not.
to the-
I think
he's
it's
a
a
Creighton.
crazy
He's a Creighton
move.
grad.
No, it's not. Because I only think you can hurt your stock at High Point, if you ask me. And also, all those guys at High Point left to go to the portal.
Yeah, but
Like,
all the,
what's he-
they have so much money.
I know High Point has a.
But it's the way the game is that you find new guy.
Yeah.
Like, if you're High Point, you find the guy at
like the
big
move.
school who didn't get the playing time. Say, come down
I
to
think
High
it's a
Point.
great move for
I thought
him.
it was a great
I think
move.
it's a great
Who's
move
the?
for
I know
him.
this is a dumb question for I know, but who's the current coach of
Greg
Creighton?
McDermott, who's very, very good.
And how is he old? Like
Hall
what's
of
his story?
Famer.
He's not even that old.
60. He has 2 more years left, max.
Why?
He wants to.
Oh, has he said that publicly?
Basically, I think that was the assumption of him taking the
So
job.
this guy knows. All right, I just got to sit out 2 years and then I'll get the job in year 3.
Yeah.
All right.
He was McDermott's right-hand man for a long period of time at Creighton.
So they have a good relationship.
Yeah, I mean, he knows the facility well. Like,
I doubt McDermott would do him
No.
dirty then.
no, Booster. Well, yeah, Boeheim did that. We
Eddie
love,
Leno did it too.
love Boeheim, but Boeheim did that. Yeah, he knows the facility well. He knows the players. I feel like the alumni and boosters will be there. Correct me if I'm wrong. Did he play there? Did he play there?
Yeah, he's a grad.
He's a grad from there as well. Yeah, so they know,
All right.
they know him well. So I don't know. I think it's a good move. But yeah, Creighton put him in. He's in the Big East now, so decent move there. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. Oh, what jumped out in terms of mini golf? White Sox Day, very funny clip. Meek getting a lot of love.
Meek is. They were chanting his name in the Raptors.
The Meek freaks.
Yeah,
Everyone in Chicago is becoming
That's
Meek.
a-
not hard. Everyone's a Meek freak.
it's a tough putt for beef.
Tough putt.
Honestly, I think the controversial was it a double hit or no?
I don't know. I got a text from a big-time golf guy that said that they took away that penalty.
They
like
did that in
7 or-
2019. They did.
Yeah, a
They-
couple of years ago, 7 or 8 years ago.
I thought it was one stroke. He just hit. I thought he just hit the ground first.
He definitely didn't.
I thought.
hit it.
I thought.
He didn't hit it right.
I thought he hit it awkwardly because he hit the ground first. But I thought it was just. I thought he hit it once.
He did kind of drag.
No, But I think it was the slow motion. I feel like made it look way more like he hit it in one motion. But when you like stop it, because he so awkwardly like hits the ground, it kind of like it stops like the momentum of like the putter, but it's still kind of like followed through, just like weaker.
I usually trust Kirk in these things because he knows golf so well, and he was right immediately on top of it. So I don't.
But Kirk he's on the other side.
He is. That's true.
Like if that's Kirk's teammate, he's not saying it's a double hit.
Wait, so are they?
I'm not faulting Kirk.
No, but he was immediately jumped on it though. You're right. Kirk's.
but he should have. But that's Kirk. Like that.
Yeah.
I would expect.
didn't
Kirk
look right.
to either way. Like if on either side, he would have argued very well for like his side.
Are they doing 12 singles today? Is everyone
believe
playing?
so.
Singles today.
All 12?
Yes.
I don't know that. Is that what
Oh,
it is?
yes,
Makes
it's-
sense.
It's
They're all
Ryder
there.
Cup
They're all
style.
still there.
That's the new Ryder Cup. It's it's like multiple group stages, and then the last stage is like 1v1s.
And it's
Yeah,
6.5 to 4.5, and the winning team has to get 12.5.
No,
I think
it's
it's
7.5 to
seven-
5.
I'm sorry.
7 to 5.
7 to 5.
But there was two brutal collapses that like really should have been 8-4.
That saved
Yeah, it was
it, 'cause
4
it was about to be
There was
8-4.
two. There was
yeah.
two
8-4,
collapses
yeah.
in a row.
So it's 7 to 5, and the winning team has to get 12.5.
Yeah.
They were
correct.
staring 8-4 in the face
Yes,
and
correct.
held water. They lost -2 in the first round and then held even in the second round, which was a win considering they're about to go -2 again.
We're about to be down 8-4, right?
Yeah, so and then
that would have been like
yeah.
over,
And you look at the head-to-heads. I think the big guys are going to matter, but I think the middle is where you're going to decide a lot of things.
everyone matters the same.
Yeah,
That's
like
what you have to look at
Meek
it.
versus
I know.
Annika.
Yeah,
It's
I
exactly
know.
the same
Same as
value
Kirk
as like
versus-
Whitney
It
versus
is.
whoever. like,
It is. But I think yeah, I guess you're right.
It
They
matters
all
just
count
the
as
same.
one, but I think the big guys are all going to kind of interchange. Let's say that makes sense. And then where you're really going to swing, the swing votes are going to be
Like the White Sox Daves.
Hans,
Yeah.
Casey, White Sox Dave, who's below? Big Cat, PFT, like in that
Yeah.
middle, not top, the middle is where it's really you got to go.
I'm even intrigued though, like by Meek versus Annika. Like that has huge stakes.
Yeah.
Meek
Yeah.
handling business, Meek.
Meek.
That
One more,
sentence I
Meek.
never thought I'd hear. Meek and Annika, huge stakes.
Huge stakes.
Hey, Meek has shown himself every time. I'll say this, man. Every time Meek does content like Rat Race or this or whatever he does, he always ends up doing an amazing job.
Also,
what if after 18 holes, like partnership, you know what I mean? Like you're trapped together, whatever. What if Annika just falls in love with Meek?
I mean, yeah.
That's it.
She should be so lucky.
She's all in on
It's like that meme, like we have a Hulk, we have a Meek. You have Nicki Smokes, we have a Meek.
She should be so lucky to see the light.
Who would you rather
Meek.
your sister date, Meek or Nicki Smokes? Meek in a heartbeat.
I'm not kidding. Shit. That's one of the hardest questions.
No, it's not. It's the easiest question.
Meek, really nice guy. Meek,
Yes.
also, I'm also too hung up on the Zach Campbell thing. And right now, I'd say that Meek is closer to Zach Campbell than Nicki Smokes is to Zach Campbell.
You'd much rather
I would.
Meek in a heart.
Well, is he closer to Zach Campbell? Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but
But also, Nicki Smokes is closer to some people that I
doesn't
wouldn't
really
want
watch
to date either.
And I like Nicki's dad. Nicki Smokes I like Nicki a lot. Nicki's a great guy to hang out with. But I don't know if I want a family member dating him.
I feel like I see Meek right now, like standing next to me, being like,
Oh shit.
Okay.
All right, that
he would have
is-
trolled you. So by the way, that Warrior segment, we're finishing up at 12:59. If Meek was here, that
Oh my
segment
God.
goes till 1:09.
Yeah.
Oh, easy.
100%.
Never.
Meek would have been so mad.
Never ending. All right, Pick Central tomorrow will be me and Clemmer.
Yeah.
And then I think everybody but me back next week.
Yeah.
I'll be here
We'll
next
figure
week.
it out. So, all right, we'll see you tomorrow. Yak up next.